Hi, I'm Hernisa Kacorri, and this is joint work with a wonderful group of students at University of Maryland.
Kristen Byers.
Salma Elsayed-Ali.
Ebrima, Jarjue.
Kamikubo.
Kyungjun,
and Rachel Wood.
In this talk, we reflect on our experiences on transitioning our inclusive design and human-computer interaction course to a remote setting. But what makes this course unique compared to many others who made a similar transition? Well, being inclusive is important for all courses, but it's more so when inclusive is part of the course title. Some of the challenges revolve around making experiential activities that are designed to be in person now be accessible remotely, but there are also opportunities perhaps, such as exposing students to a more diverse pool of speakers and participants.
We explore these challenges and opportunities through reflexive ethnographic methods. In attempt to balance the power structure typically found in a course, we evaluated the retroactive perspectives of 3 different roles by including 4 graduate students, 2 graduate teaching assistants, and 1 professor. We triangulated several types and sources of data to validate our observations. We performed member checking, disconfirmed evidence, and performed peer debriefing throughout. We analyzed, wrote, and co-constructed the study's final product in mixed pairs.
We used Zoom to make this class online, and the Zoom session was open a few minutes before the class. In the beginning of each class, students were randomly assigned for small group discussion, which was done to promote interactivity and connection among students. We chose Slido to facilitate real-time communication, and we also practiced self-description and inclusive language during the online class. On the other hand, there were conflicting needs for camera, as some people cared for visual interactions. Also, it was hard to stay engaged for long, but more time needed to fit interactions, especially in the online setting. As a result, there was no enough time for guest talks.
The professor and TAs held weekly office hours via Zoom. Google Calendar made it easy to schedule and keep track of these appointments. This scheduling method, plus the lack of physical location, enabled multiple students to meet with the professor or TAs simultaneously. In addition, virtual office hours felt less formal than meeting in a professor's physical office, partially equalizing the power balance between student and professor. However, some aspects of office hours could be improved. Technologies like Jamboard were a poor replacement for physical interactions. Students wanted to be able to book longer appointments with the professor. Lastly, the professor and TAs would have benefited from a standardized process for navigating student requests for deadline extensions.
Assignments fell into one of 2 categories: weekly recording and individual recording. Weekly assignments involve sketching and engaging with topical asynchronous videos and articles via short essay reflections. Individually, assignment consisted of individual student presentations on inclusive technologies of student choice, including web form accessibility, evaluating website accessibility, and end of semester reflections. What worked? Overall, all the students found value in the variety of assignments and the skills they developed over the course of the semester. What could be improved? Students experienced some confusion regarding technical assignments.
Students worked in teams alongside a participant from the disability community or an older adult to create tech prototypes that improve accessibility using participatory design. In terms of what worked, students appreciated being able to hone their skills, create solutions beneficial to participants, and how the professor secured a grant for compensating participants. However, students encountered challenges relating to team formation, conducting a co-design project during the pandemic, and the lack of class time dedicated to learning more about participatory design.
To wrap up, in this work, we reflected on our perspectives and experiences of engaging in inclusive design during the pandemic. We were able to work around some of the anticipated challenges by fostering remote synchronous activities and practicing inclusive interactions. However, timing was critical for course meetings, and the lack of impromptu interactions was a source of challenge. New technologies which deemed accessible had a steep learning curve for a blind student, requiring many hours of sighted support. Despite the nature of this reflexive self-study, limiting the internal and external validity of our interpretations, we believe that insights gained from these reflections can help future work in learning and teaching inclusive design amid and post-pandemic.